Okay, so in this video I want to go over some common beginner mistakes and considerations. So not everything a beginner does is a mistake. Sometimes it's what they're not doing that they have to consider or add to their game. So we're going to go over a few of the most common ones I see. Some of them will overlap with my common beginner heavy bag mistakes video. You'll see some of it in there, but most of them will be a little bit different. Okay, the most common one I see, the first thing you teach a beginner, chin and hand position. So from here, from a comfortable position, chin down, looking through the furrow of your brow. It's natural that when you start moving, your chin's going to come up, and this is when you're going to get tagged. So you have to get in the habit of tucking that chin, even hiding it behind the shoulder if you can. Same thing as hand and elbow placement. You got to watch not to be flared. And even I have a habit like this sometimes too, to get too comfortable. Once you get more experience, you can start getting away with different stuff. But in the beginning, you don't want to be flared like this. Okay? It uses up a lot of shoulder energy. Okay? It's easy to see when the punches are coming. It also leaves openings for body attacks. Because if you're going to defend, you have to go like this. Your elbows should be resting right on your ribs, right in front. So when a shot comes, if it's here, you'll block it. If it's a little bit lower, you don't have much work to do. If it's here, small motions to block. So from this position, the punch delivery goes hand in hand with the elbow flaring. You don't want to flare your punches, your elbows when you punch. You want to make sure you don't want this. A couple things. You'll tend to start punching with the smaller knuckles, the pinky. You'll tell the guy it's coming here. Okay? You won't have as much power on your shot. Okay? You want to be nice and straight. Also, when you start flaring, again, it'll use up shoulder energy. And it won't be as easy for you to come back. You'll be flaring and coming back, bringing it down. You'll tend to leave your elbow out there. So you want to get in this habit and just get used to bringing them right back. Okay, so error number one, chin down. Don't flare the elbows. Elbows in when you punch. Part of number one, again, also, in my common beginner heavy bag mistakes video, bringing the hands back to the chin. A lot of guys roll their punches. Okay, especially when you get tired. Okay, you want to make sure they come right back. Elbow comes back to the body, hand comes back to the chin. Okay, right here, get in that habit. Okay, later, when you're better, you can start doing fancy stuff with your head and movement. But for now, come right back to home base. Next most common error I see is not bringing your back leg with you when you step in to throw the right hand. So usually when you throw the right hand, it's going to follow a jab. I step to my opponent, because if I don't step, I'm rarely going to hit him. I can hit a bag this way, but to hit a real live opponent, usually I have to step. If I want to follow that up with the right hand, if I don't step with this back leg, I'm going to be reaching. I'm going to be leaning. I'm going to be reaching. My hip will have a harder time getting into the shot. All you got to do is just lightly pick it up. Bring it in. 1, 2. My body's upright. My hip is into the shot. I'm not leaning. Full extension on the punch. And I can easily set up a nice left hook from there. So if I go like this, and you don't bring in that back leg on the right hand, you're totally out of position for the next shot, and your right hand will lack power. Mind you, later when you get more advanced, you could purposely lean as a tactic to get out of the way, as long as you know what you're doing. But that is different from a beginner mistake. of leaning because they're not bringing their foot in. So make sure when you throw the 1-2, that foot comes in, especially on the 1-1-2. And that's going to set you up for the nice left hook or a shift off for more shots. Okay, next one I'll demonstrate a little closer. One thing that you see a lot in practice, guys will make the adjustment in sparring or in fights, but it's not natural to them because they haven't been training this way. Whenever you hold pads for a beginner, first thing you're gonna see is this. A nice, beautiful, long right hand, and then a left hook here. Now, I know it's ideal to have a nice, short, tight left hook, but your right hand and your left hook have to make sense with each other. If I'm going to hit you with my right hand, look where I got to go. I got to hit you there. Well, watch. I just barely hit you, and here's my left hook. Did that left hook hit you? No. It's short by about a foot. Okay? If I'm going to throw a right hand here, I need to throw a left hook here. Right hand here, left hook here. So when you train, try to make your right hands and your left hooks make logistical sense. If you're hitting a double M bag, that's the best tool to teach you. Right hand, left hook. Because if you throw a right hand there and a left hook here, you're going to miss. The sequencing of the punches and the distance has to make sense. 1, 2, 3. The only other way to adjust for that is after I throw the 2, if I step in to throw the 3. And you don't always want to have to do that. You don't always want to have to make your body do work. That all you need to do is go like this for your hand to do the same job. Okay? Especially if the guy's moving away from you, you usually have to move your body and let your hand come out. So, you want to make sure when you throw the right hand, left hook is right where that target is as well. Okay? And then you can move or do whatever. But try to avoid this scenario where you're throwing nice, long, straight right hands and then a left hook here, which really doesn't make any sense to the target. Next point of consideration that I notice with a lot of beginners, especially with sparring and even in fight situations as well, is predictable patterns. And you have to figure them out for yourself. But guys will pick up on your patterns, and this is where they're going to catch you. You're going to be going to the same combos all the time. Okay? Or whatever it is that you throw. Think about what you're doing. Think about your patterns and try to break from them. How many ways can you start the jab? Well, you can fake it and go. You can double it up. You can go body head. You can slip and go. You can slip while you go. Okay? So that's just the jab. Off of that, you got all kinds of other things you can do. Stepping, uppercuts, overhand right. But as a beginner, you're probably following a lot of predictable patterns and you're limited. So instead of going hard all the time at what you know best, step back a little bit and take a look at what you're doing and try to break from those patterns or add little pieces in there. Fakes, slips, doubles, angles. Okay, other things that you can do before you go. And this I cover in my beginner sparring setups video as well. Okay, next thing that I notice with beginners, especially in sparring, is that they're not in any sort of rhythm. They're in a I'm not busy mode and then an I'm busy mode. Okay, and it looks like this. Okay? And you got to watch that. You got to watch that you don't have giveaways that say I'm not busy. Like holding the gloves and walking around means you're not busy. You're waiting on the guy. Okay? Or here. And then all of a sudden. Now the thing is this is fine as long as you're consistent with it. But you don't want to be consistent with this. But you don't want to be doing this. Okay? Letting the guy know, here I come. So there's a lot of giveaways that beginners do, holding the gloves, tapping the gloves, freezing like this. So what's a good rhythm? Well, an easy rhythm to get into to start is just small circles. It doesn't always have to be like this, exactly. Okay? Small circles, or up, down. Okay? But you have to be as ready on the outside as you are when you're about to attack. There shouldn't really be much difference other than when you get closer in, that's when things get a little bit quicker, a little bit tighter. So if I'm on the outside, here I am in my rhythm, I get closer, it gets a little bit quicker, but you don't see me go like this from a nothing position to all of a sudden here I come. Because an experienced boxer is easily just going to see you coming, catch you coming in with that. Last one that I see with beginners, and I used to do this a lot, especially in a sparring situation, especially if you're a shorter fighter fighting a taller guy, is that you want to come up to hit him. You'll go in, and then you'll want to come up to hit this guy. And it happens a lot. I'm exaggerating it, but you'll be here, and then you'll be like this, up. You lose a lot of your power, you lose a lot of your balance, and a lot of your mobility. The key to training this is two things. One is, it's all right to punch high on the bag. Get used to punching high. I didn't typically use that method, but it's a good method. The other one is, remind yourself to stay low. In all your training. Okay, remind yourself to stay low. Work low in your stance. Let your hands do the work. Don't let your body come up to do the work. You're going to find if you get into clinches or you get close to your opponent, you're going to be struggling off balance, because once you're up, you have to get down in order to get something off. And you're always going to be delayed. By the time you get down, he's gone, or he's smothered you, or he's tagging you. So stay low. Let your hands do the work. You'd be surprised how high you can reach once you get in close enough. Okay, so hopefully these tactics or these reminders and awareness of mistakes help out beginners or even intermediate who may have forgotten about some of this stuff. Staying low in your stance, hand and elbow position, patterns, other things in your sparring. Okay, review these things and what you're doing right now, and hopefully that helps you out with your boxing. Peace.